guys, so pretty much as you guys, well, some may know, but for those who don't know, we have recently relocated to Houston, Georgia. We have recently y'all, what's going on? We have recently relocated to Houston, Texas, and we've been here for a little over a year. We moved here May 2019. So basically, just to give you a brief rundown, so we came here last April 2019 to visit. We had already been researching where we wanted to stay. Texas was an area that was on our list. We just didn't know if it was going to be Dallas or Houston. But, you know, he was trying to really escape, like, the cold weather. I was, too. And, like, yeah, he's from Chicago, so he was over it.
It was literally our last winter in Illinois. It literally dropped down 36 below.
Seriously.
That was the last straw. I was done. I had to get up out of there.
Yeah. It was super cold that summer. I mean, that winter. Super cold. Obviously, it still gets a little cold in Dallas, so we were pushing more towards Houston. We came to visit last April. When we came, and I'll insert some footage of our visit when we came here last year. This is the Airbnb that we're staying in. It's so nice over here. This whole neighborhood is beautiful. I love it, I love it, I love it. So pretty. So many stores. Oh my goodness. That's nice. We fell in love with Houston, y'all. So when we came, we stayed in the Airbnb. And we just pretty much just rode around and explored the city just to see like what the vibe was here, how the atmosphere was. We absolutely loved it. We also had a few like interviews lined up when we came. So we wasn't just here just sightseeing, like we came with a plan. So one of the things I will say, when you are moving out of state, and he experienced this with the job he interviewed for, it's going to be, for us, it was very difficult to find a company or a business that wanted to hire us when we were still in Illinois. They wanted us to already be here in Texas. And so we had a huge dilemma. We were facing a huge dilemma with that because we still had I was working for the school district, and our school year wasn't over with until May 24th. So we still had to go back and finish up some loose ends, finish packing, finish up with our jobs. We couldn't just stay down here, even though we really wanted to, but we just could not do that. So fortunately, we had to pass up on some jobs because we weren't ready to move down here yet. So just keep in mind that if you are trying to move here, unless you're blessed enough and fortunate enough to have a job that's gonna relocate you here, that would be like your best bet. But if not, it was, it might be a little difficult for you to land a job while you're still living in your current state. So that was why we made the decision to go ahead and take a huge leap of faith, y'all. I was so nervous. I was very nervous, and we talked about it over and over, and we just decided, like, man, he was like, let's just do it. Let's do it. And so, once we made up our mind that we wanted to move here, we went back. We literally, when we walked through the house, y'all, we started taking the pictures off the walls. We was going to Walmart, different stores and around our town. We was getting boxes. It was a wrap. Like, we like, okay, we're moving to Houston. So we started, literally, our walls were bare. It was like the first week of May, our walls was bare. And so we went ahead, and I went ahead and told my job that I wasn't going to be returning for the next school year. And then he had put in his notice, like I think a week later, a 2-week notice. So the last day at our job was May 24th. Baby, we was on the road to Houston May 25th. That's Saturday. So we rented. So pretty much all we had as far as funds was we had like 2 or 3 checks saved up, and then we were living in a 3-bedroom home. So we had a fully furnished house. So we had like appliances that we had that we owned, and of course we didn't bring those with us. So we made money that way by selling a few of our big ticket items. So we sold our refrigerator, we sold the stove, we sold our washer and dryer. What else did we sell? Can you remember anything else? There was some other things that we sold that we made, you know, we got a few $100s off of, and we put that to our moving fund as well. Another thing that helped our moving fund is that we always, and I'm surprised we don't have one now, which is so strange, but we always have a change jar. We always have like a change container, and so we were able to cash that in and use that to help us out with some of our gas money. So that helped us as well. So we were wanting to, I was looking into some moving companies to move our items down here. Way too expensive. And so I was very, very nervous, y'all. I was so nervous. But he talked me into it and said it'd be a cheaper option for us just to drive our items down ourselves. And so we was gonna have my cousin drive the U-Haul. So we were gonna drive in our SUV together and have one of my cousins drive our U-Haul down, because he didn't really feel too comfortable. Well, I didn't feel too comfortable with him driving the U-Haul down with that far of a drive, because from Illinois, where we lived at in Illinois, to Houston, it's a 13.5-hour drive. But like we had to figure in the money, like, okay, well if he drives our U-Haul down, we gotta pay for him to get a flight back to Illinois. It's just too much money. So we went ahead and got a U-Haul. And I don't know if I still have the exact amount that we spent on our U-Haul. If I can find it, I'll let you guys know. But I think it was like $1,000. I think it was like $1,100. Actually, was it $1,000 or $1,100?
It was $1,100.
Okay, so it was $1,100. But if you guys are going to do this, just remember it is a $100 deposit, but you will get that back once you get to your new state and you return the U-Haul. You will get it back, and make sure you pay your deposit back cash, because we paid it on our card and they were trying to act like that they didn't want to give us our money back cash, and I'm like, no, we needed that cash. So make sure if you guys do decide to drive your own items using U-Haul, that when you pay your $100 deposit, you pay for it with cash. So y'all, I'm telling you, when I say like we got up Vegas, we some riders, man. Like we do everything together. Like we really like Bonnie and Clyde. Like we are some riders. We didn't ask nobody for help. We did this, and I'm not gonna take all the credit because God was with us 100% of the way. When I tell you we had no hiccups with this move, I really mean that. And when something is ordained and destined, God is going to have your back. God is going to make provisions for you. We didn't want for anything. To this day, even through the pandemic, we have not wanted for anything. And that's not to say that we didn't have challenges, because he lost his job during the pandemic, but we have still been blessed. Yeah. We have more money. We have had more money during the pandemic than we did in Illinois and when we first moved here. Like, come on now. My God is amazing, and can't nobody tell me no different. So, anyways, when we got here, okay, so we drove. So he drove the U-Haul. I drove our SUV. Our SUV was packed down just with items that we didn't want to put in the U-Haul. So I think we had like our big screen TV in there, and just like some glasswares, some of my dishes, like somewhat like of the more fragile and delicate things were in the SUV. And then he drove the U-Haul down. So the drive down took us about 20 hours. Cause I mean we were driving straight through, y'all. And so I did not have my glasses at the time. So once we got here, it was nighttime and I couldn't see. So we stopped. He was so mad. I'm like, look, you're not gonna have me trying to write because you thirsty to get to Houston. Like, I'm like, let's just pull over at this truck stop, kind of rest for the night, and then at the first break of daylight, we'll finish the ride. So I had to talk him into it because he was so mad. So we stopped over in, I can't remember where, I think around the Marshall, Texas area. I think it was Marshall area. And that's where we stopped at. And so I just know it was like 2 hours outside of Houston. So about 5 or 6 that morning, so we stayed the night at the truck stop. About 5 or 6 that morning, we got up and finished our ride here, and so we drove into town. We went straight to the U-Haul, whatever. So basically, this is what we did. I know y'all like, okay, we don't want to hear all that. You want to know how we moved here without a place and no job. This is how we did it. We had a few checks saved up. We had money from the items that we sold from our house, that little household items that we had, and then we had our change jar for gas. That's all we had, y'all. That's it. That's all we had. So we knew we had to be, like on our grind when we got here. Immediately, as soon as we, so basically, when you get the U-Haul for those amount of miles that we purchased, you get the U-Haul for 5 days. So we went to the U-Haul. We did not have a place yet. We were staying in an Airbnb, but they allowed us to park the U-Haul with our items in it with the lock on the back until, because we were still trying to find a place. We were hoping that we didn't have to put our stuff in storage, but we ended up having to do so because we didn't find a place in time before our 5 days was up. So that Monday, I'm telling you, like really all we did with the Airbnb, we just used it as a place to sleep at, to lay our heads. We wasn't even there. We was like, as soon as daybreak, we took our showers, we got ready for the day, we was out. We was looking for jobs, looking for places every single day, all day. That's all we did. Now that Monday, so we moved here on the 26th, which was, we moved, okay, we drove down on the 25th. We got here on the 26th, which was that Sunday. That Monday, hold on y'all. That Monday was the 27th, which was Memorial Day. It was Memorial Day, so we couldn't do too much that day, but we just explored that day. That Tuesday, we hit the ground running, looking for jobs from the top of business hours to the last day of the business, for the last hour of the business day. We were searching for jobs. We were looking for places. So that Tuesday was the 28th. By that Thursday, May 30th, he had a job. So this is to tell you, like, you can do it, but when you get down here, you gotta have a boss mindset.
Be a go-getter.
You gotta be a go-getter, but there's so many jobs here. Now this is what I will say. He got a job, but it was through a temp agency. If you are willing to just get a job, to get on your feet, to get stable, to get a place, and you're open and willing to work at a staffing agency, because everybody is not. If you are willing to do that, I would say come down here. You can do it. If you're a little particular about the job you want, and you want a certain specific job, then I would say wait until you can land that perfect job that you want. But that job that he got, it wasn't the best job, and he didn't really like it too much, but it got us into our apartment, and we were able to use an offer letter from his job to get our apartment, and so that's how we were able to move into our apartment. Now, we were searching, because we still were trying to like find an apartment that would work with us with the amount of income that we had. So he got his job on May. Now, mind you, now we got in Houston May 26th. We ain't even been in Houston a week yet. He got a job. By the following week of June the 6th, we had the keys to our place. When I tell y'all God is good, like God is so good, and it like we were starting to like kind of run out of money, so I'm like, okay, like we gotta try to find a place. And I'll insert the picture, I'll insert the video of when we first moved into our apartment. Finally moved in our place. It's a mess right now. Well, we're about to do some cleaning because we're gonna move in officially on Saturday because Damon is off from work. I'm so excited. I love it. And it wasn't all that, but hey, you know what I'm saying? We had a place. It was a good start. And so now, we upgraded. We're in a nice area. We're in a townhome. And that was just our stepping stone. And so a year later, like, we're comfortable. We have a nice place, a lot of space, upstairs, downstairs, laundry area. Like, we love where we are now. And so it just goes to show you, like, you know, like, if you are willing to trust God and do your part, God will do the rest. You know, so that's pretty much how we did it. I will also say what we did that also helped us is that we both cashed out our 401ks on our job. So we did that before we left. Well, no, we didn't do it before we left. We did it via fax. Because you have to actually be gone from your job before you can file and cash out your 401k. So I think we did it like that following week. But you know it takes a while. So I think you got yours and when?
It was like, I know it was in June. We was in our place.
Was we? Okay, so his probably came at the end of June. I know mine came like maybe July or August. And so I also want to say that the week after we got our place, y'all, and it's so crazy. So I was working for the school district in Illinois. So I was like, well, another thing I think that helps is even if you don't want to continue on in that field, whatever you have experience in, apply for those type of jobs just so you can get working. So I really didn't want to continue with the school district, but I knew that's that was the most recent job on my resume. So I started applying for different schools within the Houston Independent School District. A week after we moved into our place, y'all, I went to a job interview, and I was working at Ortiz Middle School, and it was on the southeast side of Houston. I went to the interview, y'all. I got the job on the spot. Like, you cannot tell me God is not good. You cannot tell me that this was not meant to be for us to be here. I literally, when I went in, they gave me the job on the spot, and it was so informal. It's like they almost had their mind made up before I even had walked in there. So the only challenge with that was I got the job in June, but school didn't start till August. So we were, you know, kind of had to like kind of watch our funds and kind of had like one income.
Yeah, but I was blessed. I got a buddy here.
Yes.
Or whatever, and I'm a musician or whatever. I play drums, and so he got me on at the church where he's at. He's minister of music at, and so I started playing drums there. And that was some income that we had coming in as well. So that helped a lot.
Yes, and now he was filling in for the other drummer, but the other drummer has went on to another church or another state, and so now he's actually playing there regularly every Sunday. So now we have like 3 income streams right now. Like, y'all, I can like literally cry when I think about it because it's so crazy how like God will take care of you. God will literally have your back, like, and he is so cool, calm, and collective. When we go through rough like times or struggles, I'm always the one losing my mind.
Train wreck. I have to literally tell her, when has God let us down?
I know.
We always been all right. In every situation, we always came out all right.
Yes.
On top.
Always. Like, we have
not a struggle.
We have,
you know, so.
And I can't even deny that. You know, I'm trying to get better with that and just know, even when it looks the worst, like, you know, it may look like we're surrounded, but we're surrounded by Him, and I love that song. God always surrounds us with His love, with His protection, with His grace, and He always sees the bigger picture. Sometimes we can't see it, and we can't see what God is doing and where He's moving, and sometimes even when we can't trace Him, we still got to be able to trust Him. Come on, like that. Like, so I'm really working on that. But yeah, that's pretty much, y'all, how we moved here. And, you know, I understand this may not work for everybody, but I would just say, you know, if you are spiritual and if you have God in your life, and if you're a believer, to really seek God and make sure that this is the right move for you now, because this may not be the right move for you. Just a few years ago, we had moved to Georgia, and that did not work out. But that does not mean that was the end of our story and that was the end of our journey. It just was not meant for us to be in Georgia. And God had other plans for us. And maybe it wasn't even the right season. And so you really have to really kind of discern that and just make sure that you're in the will of God. So, like I said, we stayed in an Airbnb, and the Airbnb was not that expensive. In comparison to staying in a hotel, it was a lot cheaper, and we saved a lot of money. Which, when we moved to Georgia, like, we didn't really even know about an Airbnb. So yeah, we kind of ran out of money when we first moved to Georgia because of that reason. So anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. This is not about Georgia. This is about Houston. But yeah, guys. So do you have anything to say?
Houston, like she said, I mean, there's plenty of jobs here.
So many jobs.
I mean, reach out to the temp agency.
Yes.
The temp agency will get you working.
Yes.
And get you started
and
here.
Keep you working, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a lot of temp agencies. You can get on with the company after a certain amount of time. I mean, come out like literally, like she said, be a go-getter. I mean, it's jobs out here. You will land a job here
within days.
Literally
like you
days.
Within a day, like you really
will. So,
and it was a little shaky around the COVID area a few months ago, but even now, like jobs are picking back up. Like I said, he was displaced from his job, but he was blessed with an awesome severance package, and that held us over, and we was decent, y'all. They hooked us up.
Yeah, they took care of me.
Man, oh my gosh, y'all, we thought we was balling.
They took care of me.
Yes, but we did. We paid our bills up and stuff, so we was responsible. But we did splurge a little bit now.
Right.
But now he's blessed now on with the company, blessed full time, day shift. He works first shift, good pay, good. You know, has insurance. So like we're just so blessed, and we cannot ask for anything more than what we've been given. So yes, guys. So this is the end of this video. Please just let me know down below if you're thinking about moving to Houston. We would love to know if we can offer any advice to you or give you, any insight. Or if you have any other questions about our move, please feel free to either contact me via on my IG page, or you can leave a comment down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Please do not forget to
like,
comment,
subscribe.
And as always, thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon.